What's going on, guys? It's Adam P. Welcome back to more Newcastle United transfer news. The time is currently 2 a.m. out here in Singapore. I'm supposed to be in bed, but I'm not in bed because, of course, back in the UK, it is an afternoon time. A lot of transfer news about Newcastle United, so I have an obligation. It's my duty to make sure for you guys you're aware of all the information, and I try my best in these videos to come across and to get or to deliver all the news that we've seen in social media. Things have certainly heated up since the Isak news has came out, and just to address the Isak news briefly, for those who haven't seen my earlier video, make sure to subscribe by the way so you don't miss any upcoming transfer news. But I can't deny it hurts a lot. In terms of my lifetime, biggest blow for Newcastle, Isak saying to this football club he wants to go elsewhere. And while Isak, of course, has to do what's best for him and his family, I don't like the situation, his point of view. And the blame doesn't just go on him, but halfway into a window, he's now decided he wants to go out ahead of a huge tour out in Asia. I wouldn't have minded so much. It was the start of the window. We could have done with it straight away. Newcastle could have dealt with it, and then we would have had the full window to spend that Isak money and to be able to take a step back, look at the players you want to bring in, but instead it's happened right in the pinnacle point after it's already been a bad window for Newcastle. Isak's then decided now was the appropriate time to effectively hand the transfer request and to tell Newcastle he doesn't want to be here. And when you got teams sniffing down his neck, it is horrific for us, and we're in a real problem now. It's not even just Newcastle United themselves. Joelinton yesterday in his Instagram story. When you look at it first, you don't feel like there's too much in it. You look at the Joelinton story, of course, he's speaking about how much he loves a football club. But with the context now and knowing that Isak's put this transfer request in, he wants to go out, when you look at the photograph itself, you even see Isak in the background, the only other Newcastle player in that picture, and it comes across to me like a dig from Joelinton. I actually think it is a dig. Now, of course, obviously Newcastle players are going to be aware of it in social media. They would be aware of it in advance as well. And when they're heading out to Asia, of course, making a long distance travel out here, and you got one player at the training ground not doing that because he wants to go elsewhere, you can imagine there'd be a bit of animosity and a bit of almost dislike in the back room. And to be fair to Joelinton, I think this is a bit of a dig. I honestly think it is. And of course, when you look back in these players in a couple of years' time, which Newcastle player do you feel like supporters are going to be more fond of? And not to discredit Isak because he's done wonders for this football club. Of course he has, but I haven't liked the way he's wanted to depart this club. Could have been done nice and easily, and it just comes across like a massive money game. It really feels like, in terms of the reason him wanting to go elsewhere, it's just fully fueled by finances and how much money you can get in. And even when you look at the Saudi clubs, I'm still not fully convinced Liverpool might even get them in this window. I think they're definitely strong and have a real chance of doing it. But even these Saudi clubs, I'm worrying about why these Saudi club wants to come in and try their luck. They have a real chance of getting him. As the agent describes, life-changing money over in Saudi Arabia. While Isak's in his prime, and you would think in a competitive stance he'd want to stay in Europe. I think money talks. I think money does talk, and especially in this case, it seems to be fueled quite a lot by money. And I know I may come across as a bit bitter as a Newcastle fan, but I think money's the big talking point in this story. I really feel like it is. Now, as for players coming in, we'll start with Wissa. So again, like Keith Downey would describe Wissa. Even Keith Downey's saying that Wissa coming in with Isak, Newcastle still want to keep a hold of the striker. I feel like we need to let him go, to be honest. Once a player declared he wants to go somewhere else, I don't think it's the healthy thing to keep a hold of him. But of course, Newcastle still has that control as a football club. I think we can make it awkward, and I think we will be a bit petty and almost a bit nasty towards Liverpool. I think we'll probably make sure that Liverpool are going to get the wrong end of the straw in this case, especially after the Ekitike stuff. They've done us dirty for Ekitike, so let's make sure we try and do them dirty for Isak. And I feel like that's maybe the dirt game Newcastle might try and play. But yeah, in terms of this Wissa stuff, he sounds quite likely, sounds like it's probably going to happen, continues to be drilled on. And of course, after the Isak news, starting to get the Benjamin Sesko stuff now. So Sesko has been quoted, he's been a potential player that could come into Newcastle. And when you look at the options out there, Sesko's got mega wages. He's quite high up in the wages. And you speak about the Isak situation with wages. This is a guy that's also a bit mental with the wages, but Sesko's quality of player that Newcastle may almost be forced to potentially going out to get, because in terms of world-class strikers and players out there that can just come in and be a potential Isak replacement, there's just no one out there. And that's the problem with the sale again, because of course we're on the back end of the window now. All the top-level strikers have already went, and it's a real concern for Newcastle to be able to try and get this done. We've already had a nightmare of a window, even without this Isak sale. So when you factor in the Isak sale as well, we are in trouble. It's not looking good for us, and we need to be able to try and sort this out. And once we wake up, once we've had a night's sleep, and once we have a chance to have a look back in this situation, be able to have a bit more of a less reactionary response to it. I think it's selling him, as much as I don't want to do it, this window has to happen now. I'm not like the situation at all. He's like, it's properly done my head in. I think he's done all your heads in this one. It's a real shame. And I'm never ever going to say that. Again, I stick by it. I know some of you guys disagree with it. I still stick by it. It's like, you've got to remember his time at the football club. We kind of do that towards Andy Cole. I know some of you may have that bit of feeling towards Andy Cole. But again, when you look back at Isak, he's a massive player for us. And we have seen success and happiness because of him. So again, while our players have been able to do that, I always respect Isak for that. I haven't liked the way he's leaving, though. I really don't. I stand by my strong comments about him. I've got a bit of a dislike towards the situation. Not necessarily a dislike towards him, but I'm a bit better towards it. I'm a bit angry towards it. I'm a bit annoyed towards it. I'm not going to change anytime soon. I feel like it's okay to accept that a player's going to leave, and also at the same time be a bit angry and annoyed about it. I feel like it's okay to have those feelings. And I look back at these like situation with a lot of anger, to be honest. I haven't liked it at all. I haven't liked it from him. Now it's up to Newcastle to almost dictate where he could go and who could come in for him. So we need to make sure now, get a lot of money for him this summer. If we can get him out of the Premier League, that's the main priority. You cannot let Liverpool get him. If they get him, you might as well give up now, because they're going to have such a good team. But in reality, we need to probably try and get him to a Saudi club if possible. I think maybe it is, depending on the fee side of thing. But what a nightmare this has been. Yeah, there's no use whinging about it. Of course, I've got videos to do out here in Singapore and Korea, so we're going to be out and about tomorrow. We're going to be getting those videos done. We're going to be back on it. But in terms of the transfer news, at least we're going to know where this is going to go now. But oh my God, this is one of them transfer windows you just can't believe it, can you? It continues to subvert the expectations, and Newcastle, as much as I don't want to blame the club, the player, like, it's got a massive blame in this, especially with this contract situation in the first place. He's got leverage, and Isak's got a reason to leave, but we're the reason why he's even got that leverage in the first place. So, yeah, I haven't liked that at all. Haven't liked Isak at all. Haven't liked his age at all. Happens in football, money talks, and I stand by it. I think money's a huge factor in this one, and that's not a discredit Liverpool or anyone else watching this, but yeah, it's just money driven. Let's be honest, the guy is desperate for a bigger contract, and he's almost using Newcastle now just to try and get a huge contract elsewhere. It is what it is. We move on. Get him out, basically. Appreciate it, Isak. But all the best to him and all the best to you guys. Take care, and we will see you all in the next one.